All right, welcome everybody to my presentation of the UX Showcase. Today, I'm going to share with you how the Create stage came together, all three groups, editor, code review, and source code, to map a user journey together. My name is Pedro Moreira da Silva, and I'm a staff product designer in the Create code review area of GitLab. And we all know GitLab is the DevOps platform, and it is a platform that when we join all of the features, it compounds in value, right? So one of the things we have written in the handbook and we describe is the golden journey, where we say that our customers get the most value out of the GitLab product when they use multiple features together. And in this in this golden journey, the Create stage is the first and most important stage. And it is highlighted here in orange or bolded, the golden journey, where we observe as the most common stages adopted by paid customers and serve as foundation to adopt other stages. So it starts from create, then goes to verify and release. And we hypothesize that if the golden journey is complete, all stages of GitLab are available to use. So why don't we design with that in mind, right? Our users don't see stages or groups, but we do. And sometimes we do try to design with that journey in mind, but it's just hard. Our organizational structure encourages silos, but the nature of our product is the complete opposite of that. In our product, it's just one platform, and our users don't see the silos. So what can we do about that? Maybe use the user journey maps to help blur the lines between the stage groups and the stages and solidify one platform mindset. So on the right-hand side, you can see an example or the structure of a typical customer/user journey map, where we have a specific user, they carry out a specific scenario and have specific goals. And we map out and visualize from start to finish all of the phases, all of the steps, actions, feelings, pain points, and opportunities of this journey as they complete that scenario. And what are the benefits? So first, we help, and these are, I think, at least a bit tailored to GitLab, is that we solidify the notion that we're designing a one platform experience. So it helps instill the cross-stage mindset in all stakeholders, encouraging them to always look out for cross-stage moments. Second, it is consumable and accessible to everyone, no matter the role or discipline. Third, it helps encourage the cross-stage collaboration, since we already have that mindset. And related to that, in the fourth benefit, is that it helps identify opportunities to improve the cross-stage moments in the experience that, as we know, will drive up the usability, the value, and the usage of the features across the whole platform. And finally, with all of this, it provides stakeholders with the insights they need to influence the prioritization of cross-stage moments. Because usually what the prioritization happens in each group or stage is that it's just focused on what they're trying to achieve, not what we are all trying to achieve. And so if we visualize all of this and we see the cross-stage moments, product managers and everyone else can influence the prioritization of those moments and not separate, individual, and sometimes opposite directions of each stage or group. So the question, what if we could create a single user journey map for the whole Create stage? And yeah, this is an effortful and ambitious goal, but I was inspired to answer this question by a presentation from Richard Dalton, and he is the head of design at Verizon. And in that presentation, he shared a map that they call the master journey map, where they were able to visualize the whole customer journey as it touches all teams at Verizon, all teams, the whole company, and the customers in one journey map. And I thought that was amazing. It took them a long time to reach that, as you might imagine. But so to get to that research-based user journey map, which is something that is solid and we can rely on to make decisions. For the first iteration, let's take some baby steps and focus on what are our current hypotheses, what is our existing understanding within the stage groups. So it doesn't need to be validated, and we just merge the multiple existing team views. We help create a research plan based on the gaps that emerge from this hypothesis map and try to make a first step towards a higher fidelity research-based map. And that's what we did. So this is on the right-hand side, you see one of the outputs from the exercises that we did. And there were basically 4 steps, big steps to this. The first one is that we selected a shared persona and job to be done for the whole create stage. And we said that the persona and the job to be done need to touch on all groups: code review, editor, and source code. We did not include GitLab here. And we expected that the persona would only use some features from certain groups to complete their job. We wouldn't expect them to use all features. And the job to be done doesn't have to be validated because, again, we are not necessarily relying on research. It's just our hypothesis to get this going. Second, we had 13 stable counterparts. So product designers, product managers, engineering managers, UX researcher, and technical writer contribute to the user journey map. And we did a mix of sync and async work, with me acting as a facilitator across 3 time zone groups. It was challenging, but a lot of fun. And I can say that between the first and the third and last group, I was iterating my way there and improvising and improving the process within the workshop. Third, something that was planned at the beginning, but we did not complete, was to combine the 3 time zone groups user journey maps into just one map. And I'll explain that in a moment. And finally, after we did all of this, we were able to identify the confidence gaps in our map and create a research plan to address them. And as I mentioned before, the ultimate goal is a research-based map, but it will take time and effort. So what were the results? You can check all of them at the link at the top that says learn more. And I'll also put the links down in the description in YouTube. 2 observations. And to understand these, let's just first look at one example of one of the maps that one of the groups created. So this is one of the examples. And there are different rows here within the structure. So we have phases at the top, and I'll get to them in a bit. We have stages, which are the high-level steps of what your user is trying to accomplish. And then we have the normal, usual, common, levels or swim lanes in the user journey map. So steps, which are solution-agnostic steps of what your user is trying to accomplish. Actions, detailed actions of what they're doing. Feelings, pain points, and opportunities, potential improvements or enhancements to the experience. And as columns, we have this one just called before as a phase. Then we have a huge phase just called during, and then the after phase. And in the during phase, you can see that we have some more granularity with these stages. And these stages, define, locate, prepare, confirm. These come from the job map, our stages of a job map. And you can learn more about what the job map is and how all of this works in the resources that I'll link at the end. But just to give you a quick sense, they are basically like a checklist that when you're filling out an experience map, you think of each of these stages and what is the user going through. In this case, we had the first one, define, which is to determine the objective and plan approach to complete job. We have others, locate, prepare, confirm. We have what we would call the most important or core stage, which is the execution, where the user is actually performing the job as planned. And then we have others like monitor, modify, and the last one, concludes. What do they do to end the job, wrap up, and follow up? And so these acted as a checklist, and you can see that some of them have just one sticky here, for example, and nothing below. Others, like the execute, have a lot of them. So now back to the results. So the first thing is the execution stage, because it had a lot of action stickies, but had the least amount of questions and concerns. And you can see here in the example, there are a lot of stickies here in the middle. And it sounds or seems like we understand this stage really well, but do we really? Then we have the job to be done and understand if it was at the correct altitude, because we had a lot of questions. We had a lot of other least confidence questions in general. What jobs to be done usually take place in before and after phases, what happens in the pre-execution stages. But the recommendations were, we really need to validate the jobs to be done. And I'll talk about that in a bit. And after the jobs to be done are validated, we should be in a better place to answer the general questions. And then depending on what we learn, we may need to dig deeper into the other least confidence areas. So the key purpose here was the exercise itself. We invested a lot of time in this. We had a lot of people in this, but usually at GitLab, we focus a lot on the results, the output. And here, it was not that. The key purpose and the focus was the exercise itself, because we were doing it together. We were bringing awareness to how everything we do is connected and what we still need to learn. And so the interesting findings that I want to just to wrap up quickly is that, as I said, the before and after phases help broaden our horizons and help us connect one journey to other journeys, where they start and where they finish. And the second thing, which may lead to more discussion outside of this UX showcase, is about our jobs to be done. They are usually scoped, and we try to find jobs to be done for each stage group. But in a single job to be done, we realized that there are many features that they rely on across different stage groups. So can we separate our jobs to be done from our organizational structure? And I think that might be the key, or one of the keys to help us bring down the silos and have everyone thinking as one platform. You can learn more in these links, which I'll share later. And thank you. Just try